This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth, and in this video I'm going to lay out everything you need to know about Mark Carney in less than 7 minutes. So let's jump right into it. When Justin Trudeau announced his resignation as the Liberal leader and the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney emerged as the de facto leader. And this all happened without a national vote or a Democratic mandate. He was installed with 86% of the party's approval, despite the fact that only 40% of the members cast ballots, which means he is currently governing the country with the backing of fewer than 0.5% of Canadians. But don't worry about that, because Neil Young says, "I'm with you, Mr. Carney," in an open letter to Canada's Prime Minister, and Mike Myers backs him as well, so he must be cool, right? I mean, he used to be a hockey goalie, so he's just like us, right? Far from it, folks. He is as global elite as the global elite gets. Here's his bio from the World Economic Forum, where he is listed as having a bachelor in economics at Harvard. He also has a master's and a doctorate in economics at Oxford University. He's been 13 years with Goldman Sachs. He's a deputy governor, Bank of Canada, the senior associate deputy minister of finance, governor of the Bank of Canada, and governor of the Bank of England. And then there's his involvement with the very powerful and secretive Bilderberg group, who he's been meeting on and off with for over a decade now. In fact, it was at last year's meeting in Madrid, Spain, back in May of 2024, when I suggested that the Bilderberg group was lining him up to potentially be the next Prime Minister of Canada. And it's not just Neil Young and Mike Myers. Donald Trump is also endorsing Mark Carney. He was referring to Justin Trudeau as a governor, but he refers to Mark Carney as the Prime Minister. And he said that they will talk trade in May, which is after the election. So he's been officially selected, even though he wasn't even a member of Parliament. He's not beholden to the Canadian people. He's beholden to the global elite, Wall Street banksters, and Davos technocrats. And in fact, when he was sworn in, he pledged an oath to the King of England, Charles III. King Charles has been compromised by a pedophile network that involved Jimmy Savile, the UK's most prolific sex offender, and also Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, who was introduced to the royal family by her father and who infiltrated the family, managing to get this picture from the Queen's personal cabin. And as I'm sure you've probably already seen, the pictures don't end there. Here's Mark Carney and his wife pictured with the same Ghislaine Maxwell at a music festival in 2013, looking pretty friendly if you'd ask me. And it's important to note that this meeting took place 5 years after her boyfriend Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of sex crimes. So this man cannot be trusted. And then there's the situation with his daughter, who's transgender and identifies as non-binary. Sophia Carney now goes by Sasha Carney because Mark Carney sent his daughter to the Tavistock Gender Clinic back in the UK in 2013. This gender clinic was shut down and sued by over 1,000 families because of all the atrocities that it did to young children, where they would brainwash them into getting life-altering surgeries and to taking hormones and puberty blockers. Mark Carney sent his daughter there, and she now thinks that she's neither a girl or a boy, and she identifies by they/them pronouns. He vowed to defend puberty blockers and gender transition procedures without exception, including for children. After something like that, you would think you wouldn't want this guy anywhere near your children, but that's not the case for Chrystia Freeland. She decided to make Mark Carney the godfather to her son. So this is just one big club now, where Mark Carney has already been advising Justin Trudeau for the last 10 years. Did you guys know that it was because of Mark Carney's advice that Justin Trudeau decided to freeze the bank accounts of anybody who was supporting the trucker protest? Here's what Carney had to say about it in the Globe and Mail at the time. "Drawing the line means choking off the money that financed this occupation. By now, anyone sending money to the convoy should be in no doubt you are funding sedition. Foreign funders of an insurrection interfered in our domestic affairs from the start. Canadian authorities should take every step within the law to identify and thoroughly punish them. The involvement of foreign governments and any officials connected to them should be identified, exposed, and addressed. I know from experience that crises don't end by themselves. You can't spin your way out of failure. You must recognize the scale of the challenge, devise a clear plan, and then implement it methodically and deliberately. Your determination to do so can never be in doubt. Then and only then can order be restored. In this case, that means enforcing the law and following the money. Individuals must be held responsible for their lawlessness, and those who financed their actions must be dissuaded from ever doing so again. Folks, they invoked the Emergencies Act to do this. This man is an enemy who sees CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies, as the answer to all of our economic woes. He claims to be a Catholic, yet he promotes abortion and state-assisted suicides through the MAID program. And he didn't condemn the burning of churches during the residential schools mass grave hoax. He clearly has no integrity, and he's just following the orders of his puppet string pullers. And that's really just scratching the surface when it comes to just how well connected this man is to the system. But considering that this selection process is happening now and it's only less than 2 weeks away, I figured now was a good time to do another expose on our next Prime Minister, Mark Carney. Guys, if you do appreciate my efforts to do so, please take one moment today to contribute to my efforts at pressfortruth.ca/donate. You can check that top link in the description below of whatever video platform you happen to be watching this on. Thank you so much to anybody who takes 1 minute today to support my efforts by visiting pressfortruth.ca/donate. And that's all for today, my friends. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Please click that thumbs up button, share this video with your friends and family who you think need to see it the most, and stay tuned, my friends. We're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.